Are you giving yourself credit where credit is due? So many times we pick out the negative things, not only around us and with the people close to us, but against ourselves as well. Now, my sister mentioned she wanted me to do a knockout thought of the day on self love. And, well, this is something that I've struggled with, but not in the way that you may be thinking. For so many people, the concept of self love is extremely hard to give yourself credit where credit is due in every form and fashion. See, you have so many unique qualities about you, and you know you do. Every part of you is unique. Not one fingerprint is the same as another. Not one intricate pattern within your eyes is the same as another. Your hair is different. Your personality is different. Your mind is different. Your heart, your big toe. You have so many unique qualities about you. So let's just start there. And not one person on this earth is exactly the same as another. Right? So, why is it that we place all of these expectations of looking like or being like someone else when that is just simply never going to be? Yourself in the mirror and proclaim you hate your body. You wished it looked like such and such. You don't like your thighs. You don't like your butt. You don't like your arms, your laugh, your smile, your teeth, etc. And I've struggled with this self-love thing, or rather the understanding of, why it's such a struggle for some of the most incredible beings that I've ever met. You're fabulous. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. You're badass. Yet, you know what? You dislike yourself. You fold into self-doubt and wrap yourself up in insecurities like it's a blanket of habit that you don't know how to get rid of. What? You look down on yourself, but you put another person on a pedestal? You talk negatively to yourself day in and day out while standing in the mirror wishing you were someone else? How dare you, you beautiful creature? And I've always struggled with this. It breaks my heart to hear someone say that they think of themselves less than. And, through the years, I've helped numerous people come out of this way of thinking. I remember telling one of my clients, you have got to find a way to love yourself, to love the body that you are in. Otherwise, it ain't going to matter what you do or what you change, what size shirt you go to, how you do your hair. None of that's going to matter. It's not going to matter what you change. You're going to lose 20 pounds or try to be like someone else. You're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to be happy. You'll never be at peace with who you are in this lifetime until you learn to love the body, the skin, the you that you are, to love yourself. You see, I've always been a big girl, and I mean always. In kindergarten, I look back on a photo that I had in kindergarten, and I was the tallest and biggest girl in that class. I remember in second grade, I had went to the bathroom after art class to wash my hands, and there were 3 girls in there. And they came up to me and asked me if I had gotten breast implants. Now, I didn't even know what the world that was. So it didn't really bother me. I was just like, okay. I probably just smiled, and kind of shrugged. Because honestly, I didn't know what they was talking about. I was only like, 7, 8 maybe, and I had them things, I had breast. And it didn't settle in my mind as to what in the world they were talking about. So, yeah, I don't really count that as someone teasing me. I guess because I didn't really understand what they were saying. And although I'm a big girl, like I've never really been teased or bullied. And, that is kind of odd, seeing as I've always been a big girl. I mean, I was a size 16 by the time I was in 5th grade, and I've been anywhere between an 18 and 22 ever since. There was this one instance when I was like in, I think like 4th grade, and I was going to this after school program. And this big boy, like he looked like I don't even know why he was at the elementary school, because he honestly looked like maybe more of a 7th or 8th grader. Like he was tall and large. Well, he used to call me Shamu. Um, and the place over, it was almost a week that I kept hearing this. I remember being in the cafeteria when all the kids were outside playing, and he came in there and he was saying it over and over again. And I honestly didn't even know what Shamu was. Like I hadn't even seen that movie with the whale, Free Willy, right? And so again, it didn't bother me. And obviously, what happened after a couple of days of him doing that and me showing no type of, emotion towards it, because I was just like probably smiling and like, that's cool. All right. It didn't bother me because honestly, I didn't know what in the world it was. So yeah, obviously he stopped doing it. And all through high school, if people did talk about me or think something, they certainly didn't bring it to my table. So, I mean, me as an adult, I can look back and like, was it the way that I carried myself? Was it, the confidence that I had within? The reason why I wasn't bullied in the manner that, other people of my size and stature probably have had numerous experiences where they were teased or bullies. I mean, you see it in movies and you hear stories over and over of a bigger person being teased and bullied their whole life. And it's one of those things that breaks my heart. I mean, and it doesn't even have to be a big person. Like, what about the skinny person that struggles with gaining weight? Or eating disorder, or what about someone with a disability, both physically or mentally? Yeah, those things break my heart. And at this point, like, we all know bullying isn't okay. We all know that that is just absolutely not cool. And I know that that has a great deal to do with why someone might struggle with self-love and self-esteem and have security issues. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I've had that experience. The closest thing that I've had to bullying was my grandmother telling me things like, well, you got the boobs and the singing voice. Now you just need the waist. And she was a bigger woman, mind you. So, yeah, I guess early on with like these 3 examples, I understood that they were just projecting their issues onto me. Like the girls in the bathroom probably wished that they had them things, right? And that big boy that called me Shamu was probably just hurt because someone else was probably calling him the same thing. So he chose to push his pain, or at least try to push his pain on me. And my grandmother, well, she wanted me to be or look like what she could not. I'm a splitting image of my grandmother, and I suppose she seen herself in me and maybe wished that someone would have helped her get in control of her weight, or maybe even to teach her how to love herself. So I want to say, if you're being bullied or have been teased in your past, I want you to take a moment to kind of look back on that. Understand that their cruelty is simply the things that they think about themselves or want for themselves. It is simply a projection. Now, the real struggle is knowing that and applying that. Nobody can make you feel less than if you don't allow it. Period. I feel like you have to know yourself and accept yourself so wholeheartedly that whatever is said in an attempt to hurt you never will. It's kind of like having this like electrical field around you that absorbs that negative crap and it just dissolves it, because you made this conscious choice to love yourself beyond anyone's words, because you know yourself. Now, what about people that struggle with self love that have never been teased or bullied? Like, where do you think this comes from? Well, in my mind, and knowing what I do and how I have helped people, I know it comes from somewhere. Like, there is a root. The body image issues didn't just appear out of nowhere. The self love issues didn't just appear out of nowhere. The insecurities did not just appear out of nowhere. There is a root. So, I'm going to take a moment and help you find that root. So, bear with me. Bear with yourself. Just take a moment and begin to take a few deep breaths in. And you might want to go grab a pencil and a piece of paper for this. That would be really helpful. And brace yourself for this revelation, you know. This is the beginning of your self-love journey. And I'm going to say it will take work and it will take practice. It will take you time to reprogram your vision of you, your thoughts of you, and how you feel about yourself. So bear with yourself. All right, so I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I want you to just allow whatever comes up to come up. You know, don't think about the answer. Allow the subconscious space to speak. Allow your pain to speak. No analyzing, no judging, okay? Yeah, so if you want to pause real quick and go grab you something to write with, I think that would be helpful for you. All right, here we go. So, what do you love about yourself? Ugh. Is that hard to answer? I mean, what is that one thing that you absolutely love about yourself? And it can be anything. It doesn't matter what comes to mind. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? What do you love about yourself? Is it your hair, your eyes, your sensitivity, your booty, your generosity, your responsible nature? You know, what is it? Your friendliness. And just go ahead and have that in mind or jot it down. And then I want you to ask yourself, why do you love this about you? Does it have something to do with because others always compliment this about you? You know, if you said like your hair, your eyes, or your booty or whatever, is it because you always get those compliments? You always get that attention over it? You know, so you have began to love this about you because it brings you those compliments. It brings you that attention. All right. And if so, like, why does that matter? Dig deep for this one. Why does that matter? Why does it matter that you get the compliments? Why does it matter that you get the attention? Now, with this answer, you may have found your way to the root, or you're on your way to finding the root of the issue here. You may have said, it matters that people compliment me on this quality because it's the only attention that I get, or it's the one thing that I can accept about myself. The compliments make me feel seen. So, because I don't know your answer, you're going to have to put a little bit of thought into your next question. But let's say that you did say it matters because it's the only attention that you get. Well, do you feel that attention equals love? Do you feel that praise equals love? Do you feel that compliment equals love? So, where and when in your life have you not received the attention you needed or wanted? Just allow the memory to come up. Where or when in your life have you not received that thing? Was it in your childhood when mommy and daddy wasn't there? Find this root to your self-love struggles. Did you not feel loved when you were small, that you equated love to attention? Dig deeper. Dig deeper. Always ask yourself to show yourself where this experience or belief was created. Like, when was the first time I felt I needed attention? And if I didn't have it, it meant I wasn't loved. Now, what if you said you love your generosity and you love that about you because you feel better giving or it makes you feel accomplished? You might ask, why does it feel better to give? And your answer might sound a little bit like, well, because I was always praised for giving, whether it be a gift or a plate of food or my time or a piece of myself. Why do you feel praise equates to love? When were you not praised? Or, what was that only time you were praised and your other qualities were, gone unnoticed? When were you not praised? Or when were you praised and all of your other qualities, all your other great qualities were gone unnoticed? Just work your way back in your memory to a time where you felt being praised by being generous made you feel loved. Now, at this point, you might be thinking that I'm trying to shatter this thing that you actually do love about yourself, but it's quite the opposite. I want you to see that there is so much more to you than just that one thing. And the action that was taken to build up that confidence in whatever that thing is that you love, that you can actually use that action to work on the parts of you that you struggle loving. We are creatures of habit, so why not use that to our advantage and alchemize our image of ourselves? So now you know, like, the why and the action behind it. Pick out one thing that you dislike about yourself. What is that ultimate thing that you dislike about yourself? It could be anything. It might be your thighs, your body in general, your negative thought process, your voice, your pessimism. Now see that. And note what you have said, the reason you love that specific thing about yourself and why. And how can you use that action or that reason why to speak love into yourself? Like, was it attention or praise? So why not start by giving that part of your body attention and praise that it deserves? Let's say that it was your thighs, right? So maybe the next time you take a bath, raise your legs up and say things like, wow, these are nice thighs I got here. Look at that muscle. Look at that cute little wrinkle. Go me. Yeah. Clap for yourself. Hell, it's just you. Show out for yourself. Show up for yourself. And maybe when you get out of that bath, maybe take the best lotion you got and rub them down while catching and seeing all of the beauty. They're yours. Give them attention that they deserve. Give yourself credit where credit is due. Those thighs, those legs have carried you many miles, right? Appreciate them for what they do. Appreciate the skin that protects them. Appreciate the muscle that retracts to move your whole body. The blood that runs through your veins. Be the audience you want. Be the attention you want. Give the praise that you crave. Give credit where credit is due. What if you said, oh, I love my laugh, and the why is because people respond to it. And you figured out that the only time people loved you was when you were happy and laughing. So you hid your sorrow and stamped a smile on and laughed a lot. You made people happy this way by hiding your sorrow. And maybe the why for you is that you noticed early in life that people were scared of feelings. So you too became scared of feelings and hid them. The things you dislike about yourself is you can't share how you really feel because it might upset others. Give yourself what you need. Give yourself the space you should have had to feel all of your feelings. Use the why to your advantage. The more you process your emotions, the more you're going to know yourself, the real you, and your automatic response will be, man, I love you. You've got to start somewhere to figure out the root of where the lack of self-love came from. And although I was never truly bullied, I used to equate sex to love. Yep, I sure did. In my early days, I absolutely thought, in that subconscious space in the back of my mind, that in order for someone to love me, or what love was actually sharing my body with that person. And oh, was that a long, tough lesson. And I can sit here and say that I had to learn to fully love myself beyond my body. To know that I wasn't just my body. And maybe that is it for you too. So ultimately, understanding that you are so much more than that one thing you love, your hair, your eyes, your waistline, your smile, your humor, your action, like the generosity or the matureness or the way you are responsible. You are much more than that. You are a soul having this human experience. You are unique, different, yes, and that's an incredible thing. In the heart of you, you are a light. You just forgot how to shine that light into the world. And maybe that's one reason why I never really struggled with hate towards the body. In the core of me, I know there is so much more to me than what you see. There is a light inside of me that has the spotlight more than my body. The cool thing about that understanding is that I see that light in everyone I meet. I will not and have not ever judged someone based on how they look. Big or small, tall or short, straight teeth or crooked, crusty and dusty, as my kids would say, or sleek and clean. I see your light. Even if it's just a little speckle or a small shimmer of light, I see it. Why can't you? Why can't you see it? It's time to get to know yourself. I truly believe that in itself can build a sense of confidence, security, and a love for oneself. Too often we hide who we are, and that is a recipe for a corruption of love that we actually are. How can you love yourself if you cannot see that you are love? So, find the light inside of you, and you'll find the love. To hell with what you've been programmed to think, been taught to feel, been thinking about yourself. You are love. And that's all that really matters. You are love. And it's time to accept that. Provide yourself the spiritual nourishment that you crave. All the things that you have been needing from everyone outside of yourself, give them to you. Words of positivity, words of creation, words of love, thoughts of power, acknowledgement, attention, praise. Find the little you inside of you and let that little you have everything it's always needed. Tell that little you, I love you. I love you. I love you throughout the day. Clap for yourself. I tell this one to my baby girl all the time. Yeah, baby girl, it's cool to have people clap for you, but if you can clap for yourself, baby, you're making magic for the you in the future. Clap for yourself. Cheer yourself on. And please do not forget to connect to the light within you. There is so much goodness in you. There is so much to be proud of. There is so much that you have yet to see about you that when you see it, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to bust your heart wide open. I love you. So on that note, knockout thoughts of the day.